Well, hello everybody. It's Ronnie with Whip and Chain. I work with Maggie and Lauren to bring you beautiful crochet tutorials. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful, it can be a market bag. It's considered a French market bag, but I used, like I said, I've asked everybody, I'm using up my scrap cotton yarn. So this is 100% cotton in every aspect of this. But it's just all scraps, and I just added pieces when I ran out. And I have a little short video that I'm going to download on how to tie your ends without having to do 100 pounds of weaving in, especially when you do scrap projects. But look at this, guys. Look at the depth of what you can hold in this bag. It's crazy, crazy. Just to get an idea, here is my button box, and it doesn't even come close. I'm going to be using this along with the other bag that I made for my garden vegetables. When I go out and pick them, this is perfect. Any loose dirt can fall through it, and it's cotton, so it washes well. So we're going to dive into this. But again, like I said, this is all scrap yarn. All scrap yarn, 100% cotton. That's why the handles are a couple different colors. That's why all this is a multitude of different colors. And we're going to dive right into this. And just let you know, I'm using a 5mm H hook. Again, I'm using my clover hooks, which I love. And I love Hobby Lobby yarn, but I really wanted to use up some of scrap yarn. I had tons of it, and I still have tons of it. Unbelievable. I got to figure out another project to do, but I think that's going to be for another time. So let's dive into this. Okay, let's talk about this market bag. I know this is a number 2, but this market bag is going to be my little balls of yarn stash cleanup. So this one's going to be a multitude of lots of different colors, some solid, some variegated, some weird colors. I'm just going to use up all those little balls. I think I'm going to just save like some white, some colors that I use a lot for other projects, but I think this is a good one to dash out. And this bag in particular will be able to collect my peppers, my smaller stuff that I'll be doing. So I'm going to get you started on it. And I am using, again, my clover hook, 5mm. And it is cotton yarn. It is all cotton yarn. But again, this is cotton yarn that was given to me by so many different people. And all I do know for a fact is this is not Hobby Lobby. I can tell Hobby Lobbies with my eyes closed, but it's still cotton, and I always will recommend 100% cotton for this stuff, because cotton yarn in general is much more stronger than acrylic. So we're going to start with a magic ring. If you do not want to do a magic ring, chain 4, slip stitch to the first stitch, and then chain 2. I need you to leave a little bit of a tail. Not ridiculous, just a little bit. So if you do the magic ring, you're already chained 1. So you just chain 1 more. All right. This chain 2 counts as absolutely nothing in this project, so don't count it. So I want you to do a double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet, chain 1, a double crochet, chain 1. And you're going to do this all the way around until you have 8 double crochets and 8 chain 1s. Now remember that chain 2 did not count. 7 and 8. And after you do your last 8 double crochet, make sure you chain 1. And again, if I were you and you were me, I would recount your things. Make sure you have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you have 8, then you slip stitch to top of your first one. And then you can pull your project tight. All right. Then I want you to slip stitch to your first chain 1 area. Okay. Chain 2. That don't count as anything. So in here you're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet, chain 1, and the next one do the same. It'd be a double crochet, chain 1, a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and you're going to do this all the way around. So it's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and you chain 1 in between. I'll meet you at the end. Okay. So now what you did is essentially V-stitches. The double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, that is essentially a V-stitch. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll count them again. I'm starting where I started because you can see that chain 2, which is really okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 of them. Okay. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to slip stitch to the chain area. And I want you to notice something before we go any further. Let me get something to show you with here so you can understand a little better. This is our V's. V's. And in between here is our chain 1 areas. So this is our V stitch. This is a chain 1. This is a V stitch. The 2 double crochets, the chain 1 in the same stitch, that's our V. Here, that's just a space. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting V stitches in top of the V stitches. But in the chain 1 areas, we're going to be putting just just a double crochet. So let's do this next round together so you can see what I mean. So you chain 2, and we are on top of a V stitch. So that being said, we're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. And every time you switch gaps, no matter if it's just for a regular double crochet or a V, I do need you to chain 1, okay? So as you can tell, this is not a V stitch. So right there gets just a regular double crochet. Then you chain 1, and look at that, that's a V stitch. So V stitch gets a V stitch, which is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Then you chain 1, not a V stitch, and you put a double crochet in. Chain 1, not. So this pattern, this round, is actually a V stitch and a double crochet, a V stitch and a double crochet, with obviously chain 1s in between them. And as you increase rows, the 1 double crochet is going to turn into, you put in 2. And then the next row it'll be 3. That's how this progressively gets bigger, the increases. So again, here's a V-stitch, and a V-stitch again is 2 double crochets into the same stitch with that chain 1 in between. So since this is a V-stitch, you put in your double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and chain 1. This is not a V-stitch. V-stitch is right here. This is a regular stitch, so this is 1 double crochet. And you're just going around the stitch. You're not going in between anything. Here's a V, both stitches in the same one. So it gets a V-stitch. Chain 1. Not a V-stitch, just a double crochet. Chain 1. This is a V-stitch, so it gets a V-stitch. Chain 1. Double crochet. Chain 1. It's a V-stitch with a double crochet. Chain 1. Double crochet. Chain 1. Not a V-stitch, just a regular double crochet, but make sure you chain 1, and then you're back to your V-stitch, and then you slip stitch. And then what you would do is you would slip stitch over to the next gap, and you will repeat this. So then this round would be chain 2, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, because this is a V-stitch. Okay, then you chain 1, look, double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet. Then the next one is the V. So this round that we just completed only had 1 double crochet in between the V's. This round's gonna have 2, then the next round's gonna have 3, and so forth. So you're gonna just keep growing this exactly like that. And I want you to, this is round 1, 2, we completed round 3. So I want you to go from round 4 and complete round 23. And then we're going to meet back up here. And we're going to do the next rows together, okay? So it's just continuously growing. And like I said, the double crochets that you do in between the V-stitches are just going to keep growing. That's how this grows out, okay? I'll meet you back here. Okay, look at this. This is 23 completed rows. And look at this scrap yarn. Look how this just, it turned out beautiful. And I'm going to do a side video on it, how to do yarn attachment without having to worry about 500 ends to weave in, when it really doesn't matter where your new yarn that you place comes into play. So I will be doing that so you guys can see it. But look at this. This is beautiful for scrap yarn. And the sad part is I still have a ton of cotton scrap yarn. Anyway, but it allows me to do these fun projects with you guys, and that in itself is a bonus. All right, so this is 23 rows completed, and they're actually quite easy to count. So what we're going to do is where I joined, you joined with a slip stitch, the next 2 rows, you just slip stitch over to your V like you normally would do on your rows, but this time I want you to chain 2. Sorry for the band-aid. I broke my nail like halfway. Oh, it hurts. So sorry for the ugliness. You don't want to see actually what it looks like underneath. So in this V, I want you to place a half a double crochet. You chain one, and the stitch next to the V, bring in the stitch next to the V, you do a half a double. And then you chain one, and you proceed to do as normal. You would do double crochets all the way down and around. Until you get to your next point. So it's chain one, double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one, and you just keep doing it. And then I need you to stop a full stitch before you reach your V. All right, so I'm not going to pause this. You guys can watch as I do it in case somebody wants to see what I'm doing. And if it helps, that is just another win for you and for me, because that's honestly why I'm here. I want to help you succeed at this wonderful craft that I don't ever want to see die. It's cold here in Pennsylvania, so that's my heaters running, so I do apologize for the noise. And that's my Moo hair. So what this round and the next round is going to do, it's going to soften these very distinguished points, because that's really what you want. So here's my point. We're going to work up until this one, so I have 2 more to go. So in the space, you do still chain one, the space before the V, which you put a half a double in, chain one, in the V, put a half a double, chain one, and the space after the V, you put a half a double. And if you look, it's already smoothing that out. So you just chain one, and you go back to your double crochets. And I need you to do this all the way around, and I will talk to you about the next round. Okay, went around. Now I stopped the 1 stitch before the V. Remember, we put in a half double crochet and chain one, and then you slip stitch to the top. All right, so we have just 1 more round, and then we're going to start working on the handles and all. This is just me attaching my yarn. It's changing as it goes. So now for this round, it's the same thing as the round previous. You chain one, actually chain two, put a half double crochet right back in there. Chain one, a half double crochet in the next one. And then chain one, and you do the double crochets, chain one all the way around. And then when you get to the next corner, the way I'm going to suggest it is see the V in the row before where you put in that half double? Right in this gap, the gap before it, the gap in it, and the gap after it. You put in your 3 half doubles. Okay, don't have to be perfect. It's just smoothing the round. So if you want to do this one, and this one, that's fine. So just find your V right here, and you do 3 stitches. Okay, half double, half double, half double. Then the rest are the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and you go all the way around. And I'm going to meet you at the end of this. Okay, here we are, all the way around. I have my 1 stitch left, and in that stitch you put in a half double crochet, chain 1, and then you slip stitch to your first stitch. Now if you look from this corner to this corner, that's a V, that's 1 V. And then if you look at the next one where the V's pop in, let's see if I can put that bump in you. See where the V's over here. So we're going to be working 2 of these triangle sections. This is for the handles in the top part. So what I do recommend, and you should be working on the front side. That is my front side, correct? Yes, ma'am. All right. So here's my V's. And right here is about where the corner is with my half double. So I'm going to mark that. So now what you're going to do, where you're at, you chain 1. And you go in that same space, and you put a single, that's a very loose chain 1. Chain 1 and put a single crochet in there. And then I want you to put a single crochet in the very next space right here. Okay? So this row is going to start with 2 single crochets, and it's going to end with 2 single crochets right next to each other. But then what you do is you skip a whole space. You skip this whole space, you go into the next one, and you do a single crochet. Skip, then the next one, a single crochet. Okay, skip the next one, a single crochet. Skip the next one, a single crochet. Skip the next one, a single crochet. And you're going to do this all the way across to your stitch marker. That was the whole point of that stitch marker. And then when you get to your ending point, I'll show you what to do. Skip. And remember, this whole project that I'm doing is out of scrap yarn. So if you see a color changing going on, that's why. And single crochet and one right next to it. Now, it looks puckered, but it's supposed to look puckered, so you're good. So by putting a stitch marker in your first space, you'll never have to question where you're at. Okay, so then we turn. You chain one, and you're done a single crochet all the way across, matching stitch for stitch. And you're going to do this to row 6. So this is row 2. So I want you to continue this. Row 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'll meet you back at 6. Okay, ignore my yarn mess. So we did our 6 rows. Now what you're going to do is you are going to, let me bring you in closer so you can see. You're going to chain 1, cut, and hold that one. Okay, so now what you need to make sure again is you need to find the right side. And then bring it back together like you did last time. And it's going to feel a little weird because we cinched these two sides. But you need to find the 2 squares on the other side, the 2 triangles, I should say, which should be this one and this one, that you're going to do the exact same thing that you did on this side, on this side. So then we will have our front and back. Okay? It's looking pretty though. Look at that. All right. So again, just verify everything to make sure that you're cinching together the right pieces, because you really don't want to cinch together the wrong ones. So see, here's my center, here's my center, and these are the 2. So I'm going to go back, do the exact same thing that we did on this side. And then we're going to meet up. We're going to work on the handles and finishing this beautiful bag up. Okay. So now I got both sides done. Looks odd because my color changes. No big deal. And my color's going to probably change again with this ball. But anyway, so please, this is really important to note. At this stage, you want to make sure your inside of your bag is on the inside. Okay? So now we're going to do the first handle. Now you have a choice. You can chain 60 or you can chain 70. I'm personally going to do 65, meet in the middle. So we didn't cut off here, so we're going to just chain. You can do 60, 62, 65, whatever your heart desires, but just keep your, whatever you do on this side, we're going to do on that side. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 65. Make sure your handle's not twisted in any way before you go any further. And then we're going to go over here to the opposite side. We're going to single crochet in that first, or whatever you want to call it, last stitch. Okay. Then we're going to work down. We did 6 rows, so I'd like you to try to stick in 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now, in our first 2 gaps, I want you to put a regular crochet in each one. 1 and 2. Now we're going to start cinching it closed a little more. So you skip 1 and you do a single crochet. Skip 1. No, I'm sorry. First 2, then, yeah, first 2, then you skip. I was right. Single crochet, skip 1, single crochet, skip 1, single crochet, skip 1, single crochet, and you just keep doing that all the way around till you get to your next top part. And I'll meet you right around. And the last 2, you put in 2 single crochets together. Okay, now I'm putting in 2 single crochets. Then I just climb up. And remember, it's 1 single crochet per row you did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then I slip stitch to the top, chain 1, and then we're going to do our second part of the handle where you do your chain of 65 or 70, whatever you chose, and then you do cook it and you go all the way around, and then we're going to meet back up in here. Okay. All right, I did my 65. Again, make sure you're not twisted, and single crochet in that last stitch. And then you go down the chain, 1 single crochet for each row. 2, and 6. Then you put a crochet in the first 2, 1 and 2, and then skip 1 and do a single crochet. Skip 1 and a single crochet, and I'll meet you around. Okay, and then you climb up the side. All right, so then we're going to do 5 rounds of matching stitch for stitch. Now for the handles, I do recommend when you're going in, go through two strands. You're going to need it for the strength. So just match stitch for stitch and do the 5 more rounds for a total of 6. All right, I did all my rows. Did the first row together, and then I did 5 more rows. If you want to add a couple more rows, you are more than welcome to do that. It will not hurt this project at all. So then I just want to slip stitch, maybe in like 3 of them, just so it's not as noticeable where you're tying off. But that is just me. You can do whatever you want to do with it. And then you just want to hide your tail. Make sure you hide it on the wrong side. And just a reminder, make sure you weaved in your very beginning tail, because that weaving around the loop a couple times will help to actually make that center even a little more stronger. Now I'm going to use my bag for collecting my vegetables this summer. It's the second bag we've made together, minus the market bag we made a long time ago. And I used that particular one when I had to go somewhere overnight, like when I had my surgery. It's a perfect hospital bag. So that one's going to stay a hospital bag or a travel bag. But look at this, guys. This is absolutely beautiful. And it was a complete, zoom you out. This was a complete scrap yarn project, and I just love it. And I'm happy with it. And I hope you guys enjoy this one too. This one was a lot of fun. Actually, every project I do with you guys is a lot of fun. And you wouldn't believe how much I'm still learning doing these videos with you. And that I want to thank you for. With all the questions and the start of the new year, I am going to work really hard and having written patterns for my projects. I can't promise it for every single one because I think that's more than what I can bite off. But I am going to work really hard on starting to have some written patterns done for some of these projects, because some people just enjoy the written part better. But anyway, on a better note, oh, I forgot a tail. But on a better note, look at the depth in here. Look at the depth. This is absolutely amazing of what you can hold in here. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Please, if you like this video and you like our content, can you please hit that like and subscribe button at the bottom? It would help us a lot. And we just hit over 600 members on Facebook. Can you please help us get to 1,000? That's my goal for the end of this year. So come over to Facebook. It's under Whip and Chain for Work in Progress and Chain. And join our group. We look forward to seeing you there. Happy holidays and happy crocheting.